In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips for things you should watch out for when buying a business. Nice short video, but it's going to give you some fantastic direction in terms of the things you should be looking out for. Here's 5 things you should know when buying a business. The first one is be very clear on your goals so that you know exactly what you're looking to achieve. And then obviously buy businesses which help you achieve those goals in the long run. Spend a lot of time on this. This is very important. This isn't about writing warm, fluffy, fuzzy type of goals. Be extremely clear. There's lots of material out there on goal setting, so I don't need to spend that much time going into how to set goals. But what I would say to you is set goals which are big, because you never achieve above and beyond, or usually most people don't achieve above and beyond their expectations. So dare to be bold, dare to be big, and set big goals, and then alongside that have goals for, if you're serious about buying businesses, have goals for the type of businesses that you're going to buy, and stick to those goals. And even if you have to pay extra to buy a business that helps you meet those goals, that's no problem whatsoever. I've done that before. I'm pretty cool with that. I think all too often people are looking for bargains. Well, the bargains really are bargains for a particular reason. The best deals that I've done in business, I can tell you now, have been the ones where I've either paid asking price or paid over asking price, but there's a reason for that. They've been in high demand and they're going to continue being in high demand. That's why people overpay for things, usually, unless obviously somebody hasn't got experience and they get caught out. But generally those who know what they're doing tend to pay good money for good deals. Secondly, when you're buying businesses, know your limits. Have a very clear understanding of what you're willing to pay, what you're buying, before you enter into a negotiation. Don't just get emotionally involved in the whole process, which is easier said than done. But stay away from being too emotional and being too attached to the deal. And then when you're negotiating, know your red lines, whether it's price or something else, and stick to it. Yes, sometimes you're going to have to give way. That's what a negotiation is all about, but be very clear on those red lines. And if you have to basically cross those red lines, then make sure you get something in return which is worthwhile. I have very clear non-negotiables, and then non-negotiable for a reason. I'm not going to move from them. And if that means the deal is not going to happen, fine, move on to the next one, because there's plenty of deals out there. Don't fall in the trap of thinking if this is the best deal ever, and if this falls away, you're never going to find something similar. But believe me, there's something better around the corner. I've seen that way too many times now to know otherwise. So know your limits, your red lines, your non-negotiables, and stick to them. Third of all, be very clear on how you're going to fund the purchase. I've covered that in other videos, and make sure then you've got the capital for when you're going to purchase initially, in terms of the loan from a bank, third party, joint venture partner, investors, angel investors, deferred payments. However you cut up the deal and agree the deal, make sure you've got those funds available, or at least you can have them available, because the minute you press the button on doing the deal, what you'll usually find is, and what I think you should do, is have a clause in the exclusivity clause in the agreement to say in the next 60 or 90 days the seller can't speak to anybody else about this particular business because you're buying it. Now the clock's ticking, you're going to have to make sure you complete within those 60 or 90 days. So the more stuff that you can get done beforehand, the better. Of course, you won't get an agreement from a bank until they know exactly what you're buying. But if they know that you are in the buying zone and they've done deals with you before, then they'll say, well, we'll look at every deal on its merits, but you know that they are willing to back you. Have a backup plan just in case one bank pulls out, or their criteria changes, or you have a relationship with a particular manager and new manager comes in and things don't quite work out. Always have a backup plan. I say have 2 backup plans, so if the first one fails, the second one fails, you've got a third one. Fourth one, always understand the motives of the person selling, because the more motivated they are to sell, the more likely you will do a deal which is sensible for both. But also understanding their motive for selling, if they're going to tell you, by the way. If not, you've got to figure that out as you do the deal, which you will do with the conversations you're having. But are they abandoning a sinking ship? So something to think about. What other reason are they selling for? Is there something happening in the industry which is drastic, which is going to basically destroy the business or change the business, which you don't know about or haven't thought about? Or are they just looking to retire because they've been in the business for, let's say, 25, 30 years, and let's just assume they're 60, 65, 70 years old. The age doesn't matter as much, but if they're looking to retire, but they're around about that age or older, or slightly younger, but they've got form in that business, and they're saying, oh, I want to retire now, that's absolutely fine. Once you understand their motives and why they're looking to sell, you can then take those into consideration when you're actually doing the negotiation. And this isn't to get one over the seller, by the way. It's just to have clarity on exactly what you're buying and what's going on. The fifth one is have a good understanding of the industry. Of course, if you're in the industry already, all well and good, you'll know something about it. If you're not, and it's your first purchase, then spend a lot of time on researching the industry. Is the market doing well? Where's the market heading? What are the experts talking about? What are the influencers talking about? What's actually going on? Is funding available for this particular sector? Is the sector growing or is it in decline? Look at the trends. Look at how technology advancement is going to affect your particular business. So make sure you know enough, or more than enough, about this particular sector before you go in to buy your first business in the sector. Once you've got your first business and you're buying more, then just keep on top of the trends, which you will do by obviously being on online forums, Facebook, LinkedIn, that type of stuff, but also on YouTube, and subscribing to magazines, going to networking events, going to trade shows, being part of mastermind groups. All of that you will build and develop, reading books, journals, newspapers, but all of this, as I say, you're going to develop as you get into this particular sector or industry. So those are 5 tips that you should bear in mind when buying a business. I'll cover some more on another video.